I know 2020 is over with, over and done finally. But I wanted to give you guys, I gave you the top 10, my top 10 best Marvel Legends of last year. Now I'm going to give you my top 10 worst Marvel Legends of last year in order, because they do go from, I'm not going to say bad to worse, but they go from, the first one is not too bad. So my number 10 spot is the X-Men suit Deadpool. No one asked for this. No one wanted this. But here we are with an X-Men Deadpool for some reason. Sunfire body, same body. Really wasn't needed. It's number 10 because, like I said, it's not too bad, but it's not the best. Doesn't do anything particularly great. It's just a figure. It was like, hey, here you go. They love killing us with Deadpool, so, I mean, they figure one more wouldn't hurt. Now, honestly, I wouldn't have put it on the list if, like, for instance, like this leg here, the line doesn't match up. And on my bottom calf doesn't match up with the leg for some reason. I don't know what's going on with this figure, but continuing with the blue and the yellow, we have Taskmaster. Now, this figure isn't bad. It's not a bad figure. It's not a, I don't know anything about the character, but I do like the way it looks. For some reason, I really like the D-list characters. I don't know why, but I do. I like this figure. What I do not like is the body they put it on. They keep putting things on his Bucky Cat body. Don't know why. He has a red gun for some reason. Don't know why that's there, but I mean, now we have it. So with me loving D-list characters, I do like the figure, but it is on the list because it's on a Bucky Cap, which is the new Old Man Logan. Now, besides this head sculpt and the jacket, everything else is on a Logan body we've had before. They didn't change anything. They didn't really do anything particularly great here. No more paint than normal. No more sculpt than normal. Like I said, except for the head and the jacket. But it's a figure we shouldn't have got. We should have got a brand new sculpt because Old Man Hawkeye was brand new, and we got this one. So I don't know why, but it's here and it's not that great of a figure. Number 7, I realized with my top 10 list, I didn't put any MCU Marvel Legends on there, and we got a few last year, and there are a few that are duds. A few of them are duds. Cable being one of those. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a really solid figure. It looks great. I'm not gonna say it looks great, but it's a solid figure. You know, it could be good fodder. My issue here is the proportions. He has a really long legs, really short torso. It's kind of weird for MCU to look like that. I don't believe Josh Brolin looked like that on screen. And I know for a fact Josh Brolin is not tall enough. He's not that tall. He is a little bit shorter, but it's a miss for me. The figure could have been better. Proportions could have been better. Dropped it. Proportions could have been better. He doesn't really particularly hold his gun well. A lot of little things with this figure make me not really like it. It's not a figure that I pick up and like, oh, okay, let me do something with this. It's a figure I look at and I'm like, okay, I'm glad I got it. Only because it's Walmart exclusive and I might not never see it. But other than that, this figure's pretty terrible. I don't even know why I was assigning these numbers. The next figure I have is a figure a lot of us were looking forward to owning. We have never had one in Marvel Legends. And to me, they totally missed the mark. Maverick from the Strong Guy wave. I was looking forward to this figure. Really was looking forward to this figure, but it's a clunky ass figure. It doesn't articulate well, doesn't do anything well, and it's just not a really good outing for the figure. And then you have these muted silvers and golds. It's kind of weird because if you look at pictures of this guy, he's really shiny, he's really bright, but then you get the toy and it's like, and it's not even a classic look. It's like a more modernized list. It's like all over the place for me. So it's a no for me. It's a dud for me. From the legs all the way up to the torso, you have these like, why couldn't we get, there's enough space in here to give us butterfly joints, but they decided not to. I'm shaking the camera, my bad. But yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with this one, and they give us this reused Star-Lord gun that looks, Star-Lord could barely hold it and he can barely hold it. I don't really like this gun too much, but Maverick is definitely it's a figure, like I said, a lot of people are looking forward to, but it's terrible outing from Hasbro, if you ask me. Some people might like it, not particularly my standpoint, but it's here. Usually we see movies, or usually we get the figures and the movie comes out that same year, but Of course, with all this madness going on, Taskmaster, this figure, besides it being a brand new sculpt, it's not really that great of a figure. It does have some cool articulation, like these hidden butterfly joints, and they really don't do too much either. So that's kind of like, it's like, why even put it there, you know? And then it's like, the sculpt here is good. You got that, and then you got I don't know. This figure just didn't do it for me. At first I liked it, but the more I sat and messed with it, and the more I tried to pose it, you know, the less I started liking this figure. And they keep doing this thing with these figures. They give us MCU figures, and then they give us this clip. Like, they give us this comic style clip that they used to do for the... I don't know why they're doing this instead of giving us the straps, like the cap straps. I don't know what this is about. It's honestly a terrible thing. Taskmaster has the same, and I don't know what they're doing with this, but this figure, it just doesn't do anything really well. It doesn't articulate that good. Just overall not a fun figure for me. So now we're getting into the ones that I really think are just like the most terrible figures you could ever own. Starting with Black Tom here. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It's Black Tom. I mean, there it is. And then we're gonna go into another one I don't think we should have got, but AOA Morph. At least they could have did was give us different head sculpts, but they didn't even want to do that. So now we got a Morph with a bald white head and a big purple cape and swashbuckler boots and gloves. Don't know why it's a figure, but it is. No one asked for this, so we're here now. Worst figures to ever see creation are these Red Guardian. I don't know what the fuck. Like, we've seen trailer, and this is another one like Taskmaster that we haven't seen the movie yet. We have a figure. They didn't give us a helmeted head, and they gave us this soft-ass David Harbour sculpt. It looks like him from certain angles, but then, like, straight on, it looks like him, but I don't know why they gave him... In the movie, he looks more unkept than this. This looks like Hopper from Stranger Things. It doesn't look like Red Guardian. So I don't know what they were thinking with this. They should have just gave us a masked bearded head and called it a day. And back to, this is his shield with this. I don't know what this clip is for, because I know in the movie his shield, look at that. That looks terrible. I don't know what they were thinking, but definitely one of the worst of the year. This is like, has a little, I don't know what they were thinking. The sculpt looks good, but the rest of the figure, like as a whole, is terrible. 2020's worst figure, I'm going to say by far, is this Morbius. I don't know, again, we're back to I don't know what they were thinking. All they did was give us a new torso, and then they slapped on the Spidey UK limbs, and they act like we wouldn't notice. And then they give us the windswept hair. Like, why is his hair windswept? And I get what they were going for. Like, they think, like, if you're going to pose Morbius, he's going to be jumping at somebody and doing all of this fancy shit. But it's like, no one's doing that. No one's doing that. Like, I don't know what the fuck is, what was going on over there. They tried to give us the little buckles and the belt, and this is just terrible. The cape is windswept. It is terrible. Like, how does his cape windsweep this way and then his hair is windswept back? It just doesn't make sense to me. I hate to get on here and be this negative about toys because we love them, but these toys are complete ass. Like, all of these are terrible. Like, you can't sit here and look at these figures and be like, oh, these are great. Like, no, these are terrible figures. Like, these are, like, Black Tom is useless, really. They should have gave him some switch outs or something. Taskmaster did come with a couple switch outs, but not enough to make him. And then you have this, I don't know, this figure, I really wanted to like it, but when I got it in hand, it was a cluster. This one too, it was a cluster for me. Spy Master. Like I said, I do like Spy Master. It's just the Bucky Cat body is the only reason he made the list. And then you got Old Man Logan. Let me put him right there. You got Old Man Logan, who didn't do anything. He didn't do anything that warranted a new figure. So there's that. And then you got X-Men Deadpool. So that's my top 10 worst figures of 2020. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button. Check out these videos on the screen. And I'm out.